Hot day, you want some water?
Boy, nice day to have cold. But you think about it, I think it's a dark cloud, right? And then you.
Where are you?
What trouble is this, boy? That you come back to the mall, what on? Yeah?
No, girl. Yeah. Yeah, I see them bending over. The bending is what will hurt you. Is it? Good. I think you have to walk. Roll on her face.
You ever hear about Easter hat? Sunday Easter hat? Yeah?
What?
I say, you know, everybody with a pretty Sunday Easter hat.
Uh-huh.
I use it mine to hang clothes.
Well, that's good. Very good. Good weather for it. Young boy? Everything alright? What are you doing for Easter, boy?
Well, right now we're watching the football.
Uh-huh.
Yes, right now really. But simple.
You ain't playing, man?
Nah.
How your music going?
I actually have 2 songs dropping this year.
What?
Yeah. So I'm gonna link you for sure as I am finished.
Very good, man.
I'll let you be first.
Okay, brother.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah,
We're
man.
doing something right now. Big man.
Very nice, very nice.
Now when I make us put on the road, we quick and come back.
All right, take your time. Be
One
careful.
time, you all take care of your
Coyote,
stuff.
how you boy? You're talking to me.
You know, I know, coming to you.
You're saving the best for last.
I can't bench a horrible bench. I can't bench bombs. Come on.
I want to know again, you're talking to Lancy.
Yeah.
And you're hailing out
that
at
little,
all.
that little thing you don't know.
Yeah.
iPhone. That is it. That is it. Yeah, man. No, we don't really quick about it. I said, look at the taxi. I know yet.
Right,
Uh-huh.
boy.
Yeah, today might be a busy day on the road.
Yeah, long weekend or no?
Yeah.
I mean,
So this is the time to make a little dollar.
yeah, I had to make that little dollar right now too. Need it. Yeah. We sorta.
Inside there. Taking a rest.
But I hear you might see you might
No, I just move out kind of early now. Check out the garden and all of that stuff.
Yeah, really good. Alright, cool.
Yeah, brother, take care.
You all too?
Yeah.
Okay, Lancelot.
Yeah, my dear.
Let me go and check the pot, boy.
Yeah, I see a pot looking real good inside.
That ain't gonna be so easy to burn soup, you know.
No, boy, that'll be a disaster.
How you not making soup?
A peep in the pot, girl.
Boy, Lancy, boy. I'm surprised for all.
Mm-mm. We're gonna check that pot, boy. The pot smelling good.
Well done.
Very good.
Come on, check my hand.
But the woman says she liked it. She like her left hand cook.
Yeah, boy. So we have in here sweet potato, carrots, pumpkin, some turkey breast or chicken breast,
Very sure.
and some turkey legs.
Cassava got in already.
Yeah.
Tell me something. I know after our recent experience, you kind of you were not motivated. Should I use that word? To cook.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you seem to be getting back there.
Yes, life had to go on, you know.
I mean, life goes on really, but it must be very, very, very hard for people to lose 1, 2, 3, family members in even 2 months, eh?
Yeah, boy. Like some people, they really have, like in COVID time, people lost. You hear about 5 family, brother, mother, father, sister, auntie, 2 bagay.
2 bagay, boy.
Yeah.
I need to close the window, boy, because these campaigners,
Oh gosh, they started.
yeah, not only that, I don't know, the music might give a, what do you call it? Copyright strike or whatever. So let's just close here and lock them out a bit.
Nancy, thanks for washing up the wares, boy.
Yeah, man. That's my pleasure, man. My pleasure is to help you,
Of course.
Of course, you know what I mean? Big fella, you got that girl.
Yeah, man. This is homegrown by the boy in Korea, you know.
Cookie?
Cookie.
Ah, boy, Cookie.
Yeah,
You
man.
should be here for the cook up. You got good stuff, eh?
Yeah, good chicken. Good, nice, good chicken. Feel like it's a turkey.
Turkey.
So yes, Nancy.
You going back outside again?
Come on. Let's sit down here now. I am on the soup table.
Well, let's stay here. Let's stay right here. I'll leave everything there as it is.
What can I offer you? You want some blueberries?
Blueberries, okay. Why not? I see you have a nice food basket there, but you expect me to eat all them fruits so soon, girl?
No, boy, that's not for you, boy.
Okay. I thought I said, but Louise, you really treat them a nice girl?
I'm organizing a food basket.
Oh,
A
very-
thank you food basket.
Okay. Well, that had to be a very special person, eh?
She isn't in a special way.
Ah, yes. You know, 2 things I was kind of concerned about these past days after reading some things, right? This question of speaking without thinking.
Wow,
Being-
that's a big topic, boy.
Being too quick to speak
As they say,
during a conversation.
that's like opening your mouth before your brain talk.
Mm-hmm.
The mouth go before your brain. That's happening.
Right. A guy was having a problem with his wife, and while he might have meant well, he was always quick to reply, misinterpreting her responses, right? Misinterpreting her conversation. I know that has happened with me, yeah. But it is something that could interfere with a relationship, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you think that you know what the person is going to say. You think you know what the person is going to say. And then, whoops, you're wrong.
But lads, at the same time too, sometimes if you're on the same page, if there's a couple on the same page,
Right.
sometimes somebody can, the connection is so great that you can actually finish a sentence for your partner. I think I sometimes do that with you. So that is a problem.
Well,
Because sometimes you will be saying something and I say yes, and I will finish.
I don't know if that is exactly what I'm thinking about.
Because, and then when that happens, I think, well, boy, we really on the same page. I can actually think.
You could preempt everything I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Wow, you must be my clone.
No, true. Isn't that so that sometimes you're talking and you
That has been so, yes, that has been so.
you may not remember the word or something, and I might finish the sentence for you.
Well, that is okay. But when we're discussing something that might be serious, if a couple is discussing something that is serious, and an input is needed from both, maybe you could jump the gun, and the person hasn't had time to finish the sentence, and it was quite incorrect what the partner said, because what if you want to call it not being on the same page, right?
Yeah.
So the thought is really to be on the same page, but to be slow to respond because you're thinking the thing out. You're thinking the thing through, right?
Yeah. So are you talking about a discussion where one person's opinion might be different to the other person?
Well, okay, you're onto a second thought here now. If in a discussion, we're discussing something, but remember, as they will normally say, your reality and my reality are two different realities. The way I would see things, the way you would see things, right? So now we are looking for an amicable conclusion that gives us an amicable conclusion that gives us the what we call the right setting, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Am I distracting you?
no two people are alike. See what you want. We might be well bonded, but we all have individual traits and
Of course, because you come from different backgrounds,
right, yeah,
culturized different.
visions and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
We got a little bit of that from it. So, in effect, if we are discussing something and you definitely want me to see your point, and my point is not as regarded as yours, it would be wrong for you to impress me. And this probably happens a lot in marriages. One partner seemingly is stronger than the next. One partner seemingly is stronger than the next. Okay? And therefore, in the discussion, that person comes across authoritatively.
Yeah.
If the
Like
person
we playing seesaw. I
It's
get
okay.
enough, you get enough. You're not on the same page, or what?
That's okay. You're busy, I am just chatting. Yeah, Mom.
Yeah.
The question of being authoritative,
Okay.
right? I think that's where I'm getting at.
Okay.
So it lacks a balance there, because your vision might be keener than mine. You are, let's say you're very spontaneous, and I'm not spontaneous.
Yeah.
So you have to get around my lack of spontaneity in a very, you know the word diplomacy?
Oh, yes.
Diplomacy is important. right? Now, when people are married, you still need diplomacy.
Yes.
Otherwise, if diplomacy is lacking, you can end up with little conflicts.
Certainly.
So it's nice to get to know your partner. It's nice to be amicable, but at the same time, I read a line yesterday and I really enjoyed it, boy. And it comes down to the same thing: guiding your affairs with discretion. Right? To guide your affairs with discretion. And they say the art of being skillful in even conversation.
Yeah.
It's not what I want and what I feel is right, but what works for both of us. What do you think?
Certainly.
Really?
Because life is about both of us.
Oh my, blueberries.
Blueberries is good for you.
These things really good for you, right?
Thank you.
You prefer guava and a pumpkin best?
But boy, our local fruit is just as good.
Boy, I feel all local fruits real great. Eh? You don't fertilize mangoes, cashews. They grow. Candy tamarind, kaimit,
What kind of it?
Pomsidé. Sapodilla, pawpaw. But now pawpaw don't get a little sweet in it. Thank you, girl. That was nice.
What did you say, Nancy? Not straight from the point.
Right.
Not straight from the point. What we're looking at? We're looking at. Are we discussing communication?
More compromise.
More compromise.
More compromise.
Right.
Because remember, we deal with two individual personalities here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would say that compromise is a very compromising word. It's a very, very compromising word because it calls for compromise.
It puts in a spot of it.
Because, you know,
Compromise encompasses cooperation, you know.
yeah, of course, because it's
Sometimes
easy
it goes
to,
against the grain sometimes, right?
yeah, to communicate. The compromise goes beyond what?
So compromise goes beyond what?
What you just say? You forget? Compromising is, I think, from where I stand,
What is it?
if we can speak about ourselves,
Okay.
right? It's easier for me to talk about us than from where I stand than to probably talk about the right shit across the board.
A generalized way, no.
Yeah, you know. But really and truly, when people are very, very, very different, as you say, if someone is very spontaneous, I think that is something that I am. Very spontaneous. And I, at this very moment, could get an idea that I could put into effect immediately.
Right.
When I come to you with it now,
Right, that's here, that's here.
when I come to you with it now, because you have to be part of the plan,
Right, good.
right? So Louise come up with the idea, hey Lancy, as we go into town, let's go to the beach. Now Lance, you know that's so good about me that is not function you as a surprise.
Right.
But let us take a incident whereby it is way outside of the box. Say, for instance, when you could come up with someone of my crazy ideas.
Go ahead.
You come up, tell me something like someone of my crazy ideas that you had to think about it first. Anyway,
Go ahead.
but let us say that you are, you're really very different in that spontaneity, okay?
Right. I'm practical.
And you're practical.
Right.
So therefore now, it have a lot of compromise and had to take place there. Because I, in my spontaneity, see no obstacles.
Yes. I try to look for the big picture.
You look at the big picture.
Right.
You will see, what if there's a traffic jam? Right?
What about the time factor?
A spontaneous person somehow don't seem to think really in that direction.
Right.
So the compromise comes in on both sides, not just one person. Because if the compromise comes in only on you to please me or to satisfy what I want to do, I am having my way, 100%.
Yeah, that's conflict.
That's conflict.
Yeah, brilliant
So
conflict.
we have to come back to 50-50. And that's why 50-50 brings the great balance. So I might come up with a crazy idea. Oh, we're going to San Fernando. When we're passing back, we could pass through Cuba, and then we could reach and we could stop off and have lunch somewhere. And you know, not so spontaneous. You say, no, I'm going to San Fernando. Even if we passing through Cuba, I can guarantee we could reach somewhere for lunch. Right? Okay, so here's what. You will compromise and say, well, I'll take it to San Fernando. On our way back, we can pass through Cuba. But we're not going to say we're going to have lunch at so-and-so place because we're not going to make it.
Right.
Right? So that's your compromise, meeting me halfway. And I now have to be satisfied that you really can't do everything.
Right.
And you strike a happy medium where either or. Right? Are we on the track of what you really want to talk about? Is that what you're talking about?
That is it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, years ago, I heard an elderly man was saying, that they went to a home, and the home, the air condition was very cold. They both were in the same room. The air condition was very cold. But the person who was sharing the room with him likes air condition, but he didn't like air condition. So he thought, well, okay, I wouldn't want to be selfish. Let him have the air condition, and I will make this compromise.
I'll make the sacrifice, right?
I'll make the sacrifice.
Right.
That's it. I'll make the sacrifice. And he made the sacrifice. But then it was too much. So he decided to come up with a happy medium where either of them will not discommode themselves for the other one.
Right.
And he came up with the suggestion, why don't we sleep with the window half open? So you will be still cool, and I will not be freezing.
Very good.
So that's
it worked.
And both were happy next day. They both got up happy that I had a good night rest, and I also had a good night rest. But had he sweated out or cooled it out, he would have get up next day because he can't move his legs.
And they would have been unfriendly to each
Exactly.
other.
So I will just add this to my soup.
Thank you. I think we were a little bit
But
there.
compromise is a very important thing, and it has to be both ways. It cannot be one person making all the compromise. So therefore, it calls for communication, sensible communication to accept that, okay, you can't get 100%, neither can I. So we meet each other halfway.
Mm-hmm.
And do it totally different to probably what was your original idea.
Right. No doubt. It could work that way.
What you will come up with will be totally different.
Oh man, that's swirling like a merry-go-round.
Right? So we're moving right along.
I'm glad to see you happy today and in good form, man.
Yes. Well, you know, as I say, one cannot be always in a sad mood
Mm-hmm.
or unhappy mood. Not unhappy, but you know,
Sadness. That's sad, yeah.
just sad. But the circumstances, one would expect
Yeah.
that would happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you're happy. The past few days I had not been feeling to cook.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you're happy that
Back on stream Easter Saturday, man.
Saturday soup.
And the soup. Then,
That's some celery sticks.
mm-hmm.
Cassava.
Cassava melting in the pot, man. Mm-hmm. Very good.
Making some mess though.
Good, man. So what we're on inside of this area now?
Well, that's a chicken to season for tomorrow, God's willing.
Wow. You gonna bake that?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
With some callaloo.
Easter Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay, Easter Sunday, right?
Yes.
Easter
So Nancy,
Sunday.
thank you for washing up.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And look at these lovely plantains
Oh yes. Oh yes.
from Mr. Harry. This will be part of the Sunday lunch tomorrow.
What? Nothing in the soup?
Oh yes, I suppose.
Yeah. Put one in the soup, boy. That
One
is.
soup, man.
That is the thing, man.
I'm saying there's something else.
Now you notice. This is where what we're talking about. I did not command you to put that in the soup.
No.
And you're meeting me halfway now. Oh yes. I forgot. I will put it in the soup. So that's what we're talking about, right? Being able to blend.
And being able, you know, what is the key word here? Not to be too rigid.
Mm-hmm. Flexible.
Be flexible. When you're rigid, there is no compromise. You know. Someone who's very rigid, this is how it has to be, and
Yes.
this is how it has to be
Then
done.
you silence the voice of the other partner. Eh?
Yes, you're too rigid, and a life that has to be shared cannot deal with. At times, we have got to be flexible. We have got to be flexible. Even with our kids, sometimes, you know, we have to be flexible and try to see things from their point of view.
That's another thing. Seeing it from the other person's point of view is important. Eh?
Yeah, exactly. Right, so you put the plantain towards the very end because then it's not gonna over sweeten the soup.
That should be tasty, boy.
Yeah.
Let me see that again. Huh?